Hi everybody, I'm Dan York, and as we continue to look at the ballot proposals and other items on the November 5th Garden City ballot, I have with me now Derek Fisher, who is the superintendent of the Garden City Public Schools. Welcome.
Thank you, Dan.
And Drew McMechan, who is the CFO of the Garden City Public Schools. Also welcome, sir.
Thank you.
And we want to talk about the renewal of the sinking fund that currently exists in the Garden City Public Schools. This is one of the items on the November 5th ballot. And Derek, first of all, what is the sinking fund, if anyone doesn't know?
Dan, thank you. The sinking fund is a voter-approved, non-general fund resource for schools to use to fund repairs, renovation, and construction of facilities. Okay. So strictly for infrastructure. Not going to be using this for salaries or benefits. This is to go right back into reparation and restoration of our infrastructure. Okay. And if people who are lifelong Wayne County residents and certainly aware with what's going on around the county and around our state, they know that infrastructure is a major challenge and a major focus, not only for Garden City, but many municipalities, many school districts, and certainly our state.
Okay. Before we get any farther into this, I want to read the exact language as it will appear on the November 5th ballot, and it reads, Sinking Fund Millage Renewal. Shall the currently authorized millage rate of 1.9395 mils, which is $1.9395 on each $1,000 of taxable valuation, which may be assessed against all property in the Garden City Public Schools, Wayne County, Michigan, be renewed for a period of 5 years, 2021 to 2025 inclusive, to continue to provide for a sinking fund for the construction or repair of school buildings and all other purposes authorized by law. The estimate of the revenue the school district will collect if the millage is approved and levied in 2021 is approximately $1,051,917. This is a renewal of a millage that will expire with the 2020 tax levy. Shall the proposed public school millage renewal be adopted, yes or no? Now, how long have we had a sinking fund collected? Because this is, to you and I, a relatively new thing, but we've had it now for a couple of years, right?
Sure. We are in our second renewal period. So okay. We will, as we close out and move towards December 31st, 2020, that will be 10 years with the sinking fund, correct?
Right. Yeah, it was first approved by the voters in 2011 for the 2011 tax year. And we renewed it once in 2014, which actually began in the 2016 tax year.
Sure.
And that one will expire in 2020.
And being the money guy, you would know very well. And obviously, with all of these interviews that we're doing and all of this information that we're presenting, this is not an attempt to get a voter to vote one way or another. The object here is to present information about the ballot proposals and for you to draw your own conclusions. But the school district, obviously, minus that $1 million per year, there would be a lot of improvements and a lot of construction that the school district would not be able to do.
That's correct. Since the inception of this millage, we have spent over $5.8 million of sinking fund money on capital improvement projects, and we've collected to date about $7.2 million. So we still have a little bit in reserve that are earmarked for future projects, but yes, that $5.8 million definitely has helped out the district to make improvements that wouldn't have otherwise been possible.
And a lot of those improvements more lately have been very visible to people.
It's true. And I will share, whether they're visible or not, the improvements are needed. It's to keep our facilities competitive and certainly, looking at the investment we're making, some of those improvements will be cost saving down the road. For instance, if we're looking at window replacement, boiler replacement, thinking back that maybe these boilers haven't been replaced in 35 or 40 years, you're now moving to a high efficiency type situation with heating and cooling, and certainly with the R value of the windows. The visible items, though, you speak of, yes, absolutely. Phase 1 and Phase 2 of the Garden City High School parking lot, restoration of our track and field facility at Garden City High School, also the tennis courts. And these are things that we're proud of, one, because it's a fixture in the community that the community can see, but also an asset for our programs and for our students.
Okay. And if someone goes to a high school basketball, they've seen the replacement of what they call the rubber gym. There are two
absolutely.
Gym floors
yes,
in
two
there.
Sides that mean
and the one that was rubber put in the early 90s, that had to be replaced.
That was replaced going back 5 or 6 years ago now. But yeah, absolutely, that was replaced. Some of the other items going through, we've done roof replacements. We've done a lot of work previous years over at Farmington in the IMC area with drainage work and on that playground, improving that facility. Things that are, that are important just for day-to-day operations, things that you may not necessarily always think about, but flooring. Flooring's a big deal, and having adequate space for our kids in the instructional programs. So getting into lather specifically this year and doing some flooring replacement, early elementary, latchkey rooms.
And these are some things that in the past had been done sparingly, but with the crash, if you will, of the late 2000s, 2008, 2009, 2010, and the devaluation of property, it became more important to the school district, and it became impossible for them to do some of these repairs because the money just wasn't there.
Yeah, and that's absolutely accurate and factual. And to say that we were on a shoestring budget would be a stretch, because we were actually working in a deficit budget. That's no longer the case, but to keep moving forward in fund equity and as a fiscally healthy district, it's really important that we look at all manner of revenue and funding streams. The sinking fund is a great way for us to invest in that infrastructure.
And Drew, one of the components of this is, even though it started out as 2 mills because of the Headley Amendment law, technically the bond renewal, or the millage renewal, is for less than 2 mills.
That's correct. So good news for Garden City, and I'm a resident of Garden City. Our house values are going up, and they're actually going up faster than what the state says they should be going up based on inflation, and therefore they're capped on how much the taxable value can go up. And so they permanently reduce our millages to ensure that the taxes don't go up for property owners faster than what inflation goes up. And so yes, we've been reduced twice now in the last 3 years, and now our millage is down to 1.9395.
Okay. And the money that is raised, again, I guess we can reinforce this, the money that is raised cannot go into the general fund.
That is correct, yeah. It's strictly earmarked and managed, and that's all. We have an annual audit. So there's not only district and local oversight, but there is outside oversight that comes in and monitors that.
Sure.
So.
And the average house, Drew, you have the numbers, the average house value now in Garden City is about $80,000 by the state's math.
Yep.
Now that might sound shocking to people, because homes are obviously selling for much more than $80,000. But based on the average home value, what is this going to cost a resident? And again, this is a renewal, so it already cost you this.
Yep. So the taxable value then would be $40,000 for a home that is market valued at $80,000. That's about $6.47 per month, and $77.58 per year.
Okay. And again, something that residents are already paying.
That's correct.
All right. What are some of the future needs or future uses for this? Obviously, you're not going for a sinking fund without a plan for use of this money going forward.
We have some jobs we're wrapping up right now. Currently, we're wrapping up the Garden City High School 2 sets, total of 4 bathrooms. These are bathrooms, some of them that hadn't been touched since the late 1950s. So these remodels were past due, and certainly we want to deliver that for our students. But going forward, we're going to be doing windows over at Garden City Middle School. Again, moving to a high efficiency type window at Garden City Middle School. And then also continuing across the elementaries with multiple flooring projects, replacement flooring projects.
So if this millage were to not pass, these sort of projects going forward, it just wouldn't happen.
They either wouldn't happen, or they would be a drain on the general fund.
Okay. And again, you had been operating at a deficit for quite some time. You are now operating at least even or a surplus.
Correct. Yeah, we are in fund equity right now.
All right. If someone wants to learn more about this, if someone has questions they would like to ask of the school district, what should they do?
Sure. I mean, they're welcome to contact Mr. McMechan's office, his CFO. He has information, and then we'll make sure that we have a fact sheet that we post to the district website.
Okay.
FAQ, if you will.
Sure, absolutely. All right, well, I want to wish you the best of luck with the district. And again, let people know that November 5th, this is one of the many ballot issues that will be on the ballot for Garden City residents. This is primarily a local election, so there will be primarily local issues on this November 5th ballot. And of course, you can register to vote at the Garden City City Clerk's office located at Garden City City Hall. And also a reminder that absentee ballot now moving forward, you do not have to have any reason to ask for an absentee ballot. You can request an absentee ballot for any reason whatsoever, so essentially allowing you to vote anytime you would like. Gentlemen, thanks very much for being here.
Dan, thank you.
All right,
Thank you very
everyone,
much.
and good night.